Now, your 41 NBC AccuWeather forecast, presented by Volume Chevrolet.
Welcome back. Not a whole lot going on for us downtown as expected on a Monday, even if it is a pretty mild night out there with many of our temperatures still in the 60s. A few spots got into the 50s. As far as at 51, by far the chilly spot. This flood warning along the Oconee River. Lake Oconee is further to the north. That is set to expire at 9 a.m. That, of course, tied to the rain that we had at the end of last week. Here's a recap of today. Let's start with the morning. We were at average for our wake-up temperature today, 42. We were 11 above the average for our afternoon high, 78. There may have been a couple of spots that got to 80 today. I don't know if anybody will tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be the coolest day of the week, but after that, we do expect a lot of warmth. Still a full moon out there tonight. It was rather red as it came up on the horizon, and I expect that again tomorrow. Should be less cloud cover tomorrow evening, but known as a full warm moon. Southern Native Americans would call it that, as the earthworms would begin to emerge as the ground would thaw from winter heading into spring. Other names for that moon, the full sap moon. A lot of them refer to that further north. Think about, tapping into the trees, being able to get that sap as things start to warm up in places like, the northern U.S. or up into Canada. So lows in the largely low 50s, thinking 52 for us in Macon. Again, cloud cover going to remain pretty dominant heading into tomorrow, but if the wind continues to do what it's doing right now, there will not be any fog. You are not going to get even patchy fog if you're seeing wind gusts of 25 to 30 miles per hour. But I do expect those to taper off as we go through the remainder of the night. Tomorrow, we'll start off cloudy, but we're going to have sun in the afternoon and the evening. I'm thinking a lot of low to mid 70s, perhaps a couple of upper 60s tomorrow. And then, as mentioned, Wednesday should start getting some 80s going around the region, and we'll be seeing even more of those as we get into Thursday and Friday. Now, you do see these fronts there dancing around. There's no organized system that's heading our way this week. We're kind of in a bit of a high pressure zone, and that's why it's going to be pretty warm and pretty dry, and pollen levels are going to continue to rise. Of course, it's early spring. What's your main culprit? Trees. All right, different ones, and that's just going to continue to level up higher as we go throughout the spring months. Grass, we'll probably see that moderate for a few weeks, maybe even a month, before we start to see that uptick. That's more of a late spring, typically speaking. Same with the ragweeds. That can kind of come and go. But if you're noticing your eyes are already starting to water more, or you're sneezing more, tree pollen's already starting to go up there, right? You're going to need good rain to wash it away, and we don't really have any of that coming. We'll check that out a little later on. Temperatures tomorrow, I do think these are slight underestimates. Now, granted, with a lot of cloud cover early, that does sometimes stymie how warm you get. So it is possible that many of us do end up more so to the lower 70s, but with the sun coming out late afternoon, I do think we're going to be more in the mid 70s. Then we're expecting lows around 50 degrees for Wednesday morning. There might be a little bit of cloud cover there or some fog, but we expect a lot of sunshine Wednesday afternoon with temperatures creeping up towards 80. Your extended forecast is coming up in 10 seconds.
Every new Volume Chevrolet comes with our exclusive 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty, 24-hour roadside assistance, and oil changes for life. Volume Chevrolet.
Your 41 NBC AccuWeather 7-day forecast is presented by Volume Chevrolet. So, again, tomorrow a little cooler than today. After that, I got 80s the rest of the way for us in Macon. There might be a couple of shower chances later in the week, right? Very isolated in nature, but no organized systems coming this way. So it gets rather warm. You're talking 85 possibly Saturday or Sunday, which means the warmer spots might be pushing 87 to 88. Yeah, that's borderline early summer when you're talking about what those temperatures are. So very warm, and again, the pollen level is climbing too, and you aren't going to really see those drop off until we do get a good rain.